Alright, what's up guys? Today we're shooting video number 2 today. We got defeated by something as simple as an O-ring. So today we're going to be taking another stab at this since we've taken out the O-ring and we've replaced it with the new one, or we have a new one to replace it with. As you can see, it's not doing too good. First thing is first, I want to talk about this special BMW O-ring. I went ahead and took my calipers to it to the best of my reckoning, and I took some notes. So here are the readings that I got. The only thing I could say for sure 100% is the thickness is 116 thousandth. As far as I can tell, the inner diameter, or ID, is 2 inches, almost on the money. As far as I can tell, right on the money. The OD, now this is where the math breaks down. I'm getting 2 inches, 192 thousandths, which makes no damn sense. But again, measuring an O-ring with one of these things is not the best thing in the world because you got it moving all over the place. It's really hard to do. But at least that'll put you in the ballpark if you ever find yourself in a pickle. Now the housing itself, I got 1 inch, 982 thousandths. So that really is the big number that you need to keep in mind. So as far as I can tell, there's a slight stretch on the ID to fit over that housing, thus making a good seal. Plus the sandwich effect. So there we go. That's the O-ring specs, so you don't get in the same trouble I did with the last video. My recommendation at this point is just buy a new one. If you don't need it, hang it up on the shelf. You're good to go. So without further ado, we're going to go right ahead and start getting ready to stretch this sucker on. We got our pre-mixed coolant ready to go, but coolant's bad to get on your skin, so let's go ahead and put on our hand condoms. So hopefully today, in part 2, we'll show you the full reassembly that we couldn't do last time, and it'll go a little faster. So first thing is first, let's take our newfound BMW part over. Now what you missed is I removed the old O-ring. We got a little bit drained out. We salvaged, that's what we had in the can up there. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put that aside for a second. I got some towels ripped off and ready to rock up here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna clean the wound. We're gonna make sure that there's absolutely no schmoo left over from previous application of grease to make sure that it slid in there without cutting it. Now my reckoning is the grease is what screwed me. A dab will do you, a glob will screw you. I definitely got screwed, so don't freaking do it. I'm gonna rely on the antifreeze itself just to lubricate this. So we're just gonna make sure we got all that schmoo off. From both sides. And make sure you have a little bit of a thumbnail, get down in that groove as best you can. Just a little bit of a nail. You don't want to be breaking through your gloves and clawing up everything. Get it nice and clean. I actually didn't notice that before. It looks like it's casted. I don't know if you can see that. Looks like it's casted in 2 pieces almost. Oh yeah, that have to be 2 parts in the mold. So it looks like the top of the mold here, very shallow, and then this would be pretty deep because this split case is right here. So this from here to here is half the mold, and then from here to here is the other half. I'm sure there's some science behind that. But I'm not going to bother with that science today. All we're doing is getting this girl back on the road because I want to go for a ride. Not to mention the engine's broken in and it's time to get it retuned, and I don't need the dealership seeing me leaking going, oh, what'd you do there? No. For anyone wondering, I did used to be a state inspection mechanic, licensed We just happened to get in a little bit of a dumb pickle here, not realizing we had some special kind of O-ring that would expand with a little application of grease. So, trying to do the right thing wound up being the wrong thing. I reckon she's pretty clean, but we'll give her the third time's a charm treatment. Got nothing coming up. That's good. Nice and clean. Do the other side. I can't see. That looks pretty good too. Do a visual inspect. She looked gold. I don't see any blue particles left over from this thing. Alright. You know, while we're on the subject of coolant, tell me if you guys are seeing this. With this European coolant, I'm noticing that the freaking fruit flies or gnats really love this stuff. I had to wipe out this pan before I went and drained because I had like 6 dead ones in here. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna have, you know, dead fly carcass floating around in my engine. No, I'm not about that. So okay, this is all clean coolant because this got wiped out again. So we're gonna go ahead and just dip our glove in here, and we're gonna lube her up sorts. Oh, it looks like she's self-lubricating already. It's not much, but hopefully that'll be the trick of the matter. And there's a nice little chamfer on here, and she doesn't appear to have any burrs. She's not, oh, stop leaking. Doesn't appear to be cutting me or putting holes in my glove. And I did double check the diagram just to make sure. She does go springward inward. What's that? Looks like a little bit more schmill. Alright, let's give her a bit of a wipe. Make sure there's nothing else sticking to her. I found out this thermostat is like 77 bucks before shipping. So you desperately do not want to drop this girl. I'm not even going to play with the idea of testing it, but I did see a number on here, 70 degrees. And I assume because she's European, that's in Celsius. So that's when she starts to open up. So we will very carefully stick her in. Actually, no, getting ahead of ourselves. Getting way ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and grab our O-ring. What we'll do is we'll literally dip her right in the coolant that we're not reusing. She all lubed up. And we'll slide her on here. And oh, that did not barely stretch. I mean, we know from the measurements that it should be pretty close. She ain't got to stretch but 20 thou, not even. I'd say that's pretty close. Pretty damn close. We'll just have to be really careful putting her back on. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm not waiting for another one to come from the other side of the country. Alright, so that's in. We'll use the housing to hold her. And this time, we're gonna very gingerly, maybe not even gingerly. Yeah, she's going in nice this time. Oh, okay, double check that we didn't do any damage. Let's go ahead and pull her off. Nope, she looked good. Alright, so I think this time we're gonna very carefully attempt order of operations star pattern tighten down. Now with this hose pulling on here, it's gonna definitely work against me, but what we'll do is we'll take our first screw and we'll just get her in there touching. Actually, not even. Well, let's just get her in there holding, and we'll start loosely threading in the other girls. I'm gonna start referring to everything as a girl now because I'm scared. I don't want to be waiting to take my bike in for a break-in now. Alright, so as far as I can tell, that's about level. Let's run these in to touch. That's not touching yet, but okay, that is touching. And we're just gonna gingerly work her in as best we can. Hopefully we won't have the same problem we did last time. Yeah, still some. See, this one's pretty tight. So let's start working on the back end a little. And I guess I should get a flasher light in there. Let's get my phone out of the way. We'll look at her from underneath. Let's put this on low. I can't see up in there, unfortunately. I see a little bit of it. You probably can't, but I can see a little bit of it. It doesn't appear to be sticking up. Actually, it's almost seated. Looks like it's seated, or seating. So let's just continue onward. When I took these off, they weren't stupid tight, unlike most of the rest of the bike. Just like half to quarter turns. And I'm not fighting her, she's going in nice and even. If you have to fight, like that just bottomed out. And that's seated, that's touching. That's seated, that's bottomed out. At no point did I have to put in any real effort. So just get yourself one of these sockets, at least for this part. Probably not the best tool for the rest of it, but heck, I'll go for that every time. Yeah, we even got a little bit, like an eighth of a turn on that. That's seated. If it leaks this time, I will be very surprised. Let's grab a ratchet. And we're not gonna tighten it to holy fuck. We're just gonna little bit, little bit, little bit. And I'm sure there's a torque. Do not use my recommendation. I'm going by hand feel. Get the specs. I'm not liable for your shit breaking. So that's a good torque for me. That'll work. And click. All right, torque down. Now we go back to the where I got stopped after I turned off the camera. I put her on, and as soon as I started to fill, she came out here with gravity. Alright, let's just take this and wipe off the excess on our hands. We're not going to need any tools for a hot minute. And I'll show you how I fill her. Actually, while I'm here, let's get some of this excess off of everything. I'm sure it's not the greatest thing in the world to have this all over your bike. At least this time we're not puddling. And even though I did spill and there's a stain, and not much of it left. The concrete did absorb it in, which is probably not good. But if you're wondering for your concrete garage, yep, this blue stuff soaks in. Alright, good enough. And I'll be sanitizing my phone later. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, I think I got dialed in. I don't need the phone for a minute. Put that down here, and this has been cleaned. I actually used gasoline on this the other day, so I know it's clean. And it's had 2 days to sit and evaporate, so there's not going to be any gasoline in my engine in the coolant channels. Alright, so there is no notch. You just straight up turn it, and then at the end you got to push down on this to pop it over that lip. So my thumb, push down, and my 2 fingers twist off. It's the only way I feel secure doing this without breaking the cap. Alright, seal's still looking good. We are going to just set that. Actually, let's put that where we can't screw it up. Yeah, let's give that the once over just to make sure we're not polluting the system with any foreign debris. And there's a better tool for everything, so this is just how your lazy man does it. Now this has been diluted 50-50. I even took my test strips. And I'm reading about 50% on the glycol, and that's on the conventional side. I didn't really get a reading on the extended life, and I'm pretty sure that's for like orange and whatnot, so we won't bother with that. So this has been diluted because it's come to my attention I bought pure, and let's hope we don't make a mess. And just for the record, we're not sponsored by BMW, Solo Cup, or anything else. You use what you got, partner. And I know this is going to spill over, as I am not to be trusted. I will over pour. I got a heavy hand. And we're just going to fill her up. Because I am using a Solo Cup and a small funnel, this will take a minute. Round two. And what we reclaimed out, I already know we're not going to put all back in. Well, not reclaimed out. I reclaimed and then diluted. So this is still probably about 60-65% glycol. To my knowledge, a higher percent glycol shouldn't hurt anything. I know the green stuff in America can, but I don't know about this blue stuff. Oh, she's probably about full then. 'Cause I'm pretty sure we got back pretty much everything that drained out. So we'll slow it down. Oh, whoop. There she is. And it bubbled down, so just a splash. There we go, just slightly overfilled. And so I don't have to worry about dumping that out. Put those there and there. And because I got crap on my hands, I don't want to touch my handlebars, so I'll grab the forks down here. Give her the old shake test. Yeah, I think that's about filled. I do like this little line that BMW puts in here, because this seems to go to the highest point on the engine, and this goes to the higher point on the radiator, so this helps you get the air out. I do have to say, I likes that. Alright, well, it is what it is. She's pretty full. We will top off the reservoir, which, by the way, this line here will never go below this line here, because how gravity works. Even though they have a shunt at the bottom here, I don't know why you bother going up. This whole thing should have been offset up a little higher, or just cut it off right there and make that your reservoir. This is all wasted coolant that'll never see the inside of the engine. Well, it's not true, but you know what I mean. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab our rad cap. And again, we gotta push her down and twist her on. There it goes. And click and tighten. And because we are at the minimum line, which just happens to be the minimum that the engine can pull back from, I guess I'll have to pour out a little bit more here. We'll top her off right to the max. Might have to mix up a little bit more coolant. Can I get that in there? There we go. Oh. I got a block in there? Well, it's in far enough, it should be fine. Seems it doesn't want to accept this big old hose. Sure it's not running back out on me. Probably won't even take this whole cup from top to bottom. I think I saw online this takes 2.9 liters, and I think somebody converted it to 3/4 of a gallon. I don't think it's that, to be honest with you, but I haven't tried to drain the system completely. So we're just a blonde one over that max line. Put that back in there, and no drips on the other side so far, so we did something right. We'll put that rad cap back on, and I am not putting her back together without knowing that it's not leaking. So we're gonna tuck these up in here. These should be safer up here than closer to the exhaust, which, by the way, got a nice bluing going on. It seems like the center cylinders are running hotter than the outside. And what a place to put an oil filter. Right over the frickin' headers. Right over your O2 sensors. Although, maybe the leaking of oil all over those O2 sensors help them from completely freezing up. I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. I doubt it. Let's pour that back in there. Because I want to see if it leaks. We'll take the chance and move that out the way. Let's take our little mop up any small amounts, because if she does start to leak, we're going to want to know it in a hurry. And we'll go on the other side. Oil level is good. One beautiful, beautiful thing that BMW did, putting that sight glass on there. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that sight glass. That is a godsend. Gotta have it. I went from a 77 to a 2020, and I still have the sight glass. Oh, that makes my day. So everything else looks pretty dry. I'm gonna move these out the way, move these out the way, and we're gonna fire this girl up. Let her warm up nice and slow. But first off, I'm not one for wasting electricity, so we shut off the air conditioner. We'll open the door right to the back, I think. I got my keys stashed inside. Yeah, I told you it's time to break her in. Before we even started, actually, let's go right to the temperature. We're at 72 cold. Wish me luck. That's it, but we're up at 99 now. And of course, that's in Frankenstein. Up in here, I feel the heat coming off it already. Getting a little warm to the touch already. Just starting to get warm. That says 140. And we should be getting close to opening up. She warms up really quick. Seeing 153. A little bit of burn off. Let's take a look at the other side. Nothing surprising over here. Ooh, hot spot. Oh no, it's pretty warm throughout. I just can't get over how beautiful it is. Ugh. That should warm her up. Nothing on the floor yet. Oh. That bubble pop up. You probably can't see that. It's glowing. Holy crap. That don't take long. I don't know if the camera caught that. Oh. Still looking dry over here. And we're getting up to 197. Was it 190? Oh, there's 199. So we're at operating. Honestly, I want to see if I can catch that glow. Let's turn off the light behind me real quick. Let me get you lined up. Right there. Gotta reach up and find the handle without moving my head. Now the camera's not picking it up, but it is glowing from up here all the way down to here. And there's the radiator fan kicking on. Wonderful. She is operating hot. And we got no leaks. Whew. Take one more look on the other side. We didn't lose any coolant, so we must have had pretty much all the air out of it. Oh, I can see a little air bubble fighting. We'll get more out of it when we take her around the block. $204. All right. I'd say that's a win. All right, let's get the door shut. Get that air conditioner blowing. Whew. I'm gonna run that on high for a minute, so we'll be loud in here for a second. I can't believe the exhaust glows that quickly, that easily. Wow. All right, now for the second half of the video where I promise we put her back together. Whew, where to start? All right, we're gonna start on this side because I got the light set up and it's easy to see. All right, actually I'm gonna re-glove up. Just for any excess glycol that might be hanging out. I'll put that belly pan on. That girl. And I did leave the screws in here, so I couldn't screw it up. That's half the beauty of it. Oh yeah, I forgot we had this flapping out in the breeze. So before we go ahead and, damn moth, before we go ahead and start on that endeavor, I went out and picked myself a little extension. So we're gonna take our T30, remove that. Oh, that's right. I had to switch bits in the middle of the last video, and I don't think I actually put that bit back in my arsenal on this side. Cool. T25, I think that's it. Yeah, that's the right one. All right, so we'll put our dingus end on here. Now that I'm right and properly sweaty, get a better angle in there. So if you remember from the last video, we just took out that bottom one. We didn't want to deal with taking off this whole side, so we took out this bottom bolt and pulled it out so it could flap in the breeze and we could get at that. And I actually gave away back those tools already, so I'm glad that everything worked out there. Don't do that if you're doing this, but they weren't mine. I was borrowing them. I got a lot of tools, but radiator clamps are not one of them. I'll get that girl back in there. And now these are just tiny little pieces of metal holding these in. So you just want to bring them in past snug. I mean, you are tightening down on plastic with a shoulder bolt. She don't need much. It looks flimsy, but when it's all back together, it's nice and rigid. Well, rigid enough. Now, actually, before we even get to that, let's go ahead, lay out our triangle again. So we got our bolt for the front, bolt for the back, and bolt for the top. And guess where I'm going to start? I'm going to start at the top. I see some spritz here that I don't remember being there. But it's not like I checked it beforehand. And it might have been some coolant that the radiator fan blew off. I could see that. I'll just have to keep an eye on that level, and you can see that level all put back together. Now let's clip these in. I don't think that bottom one's in. There it goes. So thunk thunk, ka-chunk ka-chunk. And it's gotta get pulled up slightly. Let's put our top bolt just in. Grab our, there it is, handy dandy finger tightener. Yeah, we'll just get them started and we'll ratchet them in. You don't want to over tighten them. Where's the, whew. If I wasn't wearing a glove, I'd have a serious burn right now. Don't do that. Whew. That is too close to get your hand in there. That will burn the crap out of you. If I don't have a burn, I'll be surprised. Didn't melt the glove, just super uncomfortable. I'll get that lined up visually. I don't know if you can see it. So if you want to take this apart, just follow this part in reverse. I didn't want to be dicking around with a camera the whole time. I wanted to get to work. And that's why we didn't film the disassembly process. There she goes. Alright, where's my ratchet? There she is. And again, do not over tighten these. You will regret it. I'm gonna use the head. I need one of those shorty, like, round things. I forget what they call them. Quick ratchet or something? I don't know. Put that on my Christmas list. And all I'm doing is like just past snug. Click. Come back and check again. Make sure they're all nice and tight. Then this piece, you got one bolt and all snaps. That's getting a little uncomfortable. I might have burned myself on that. And as you see, that's the one bolt hole, and then snap, snap, snap. So go ahead and remove that ahead of time. Again, I didn't want to lose the bolts. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I want to make sure I got these all nice and lined up. Playing with fire again. That was a little weird. It kind of went in and off to the side slightly, so mind that for your notes. And then we'll detach our ratchet again. You probably won't see it, but I'm lining it up. Oh, that's right. To get to this part, it's a lot easier to go ahead and turn the wheel. And that'll let us get it in here with this extension that makes life just so much easier in dealing with the bare socket. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a burn. It still hurts. I mean, not like, oh my God, but hurts. And we'll go back to shorty so we don't scratch anything on the forks. Oh, doing what I said I wouldn't do. One hand it. Click. Alright, and then that's reassembled on this side. So to get to these hose clamps and make life easy, you gotta take off this belly pan, this one screw, snap the rest off carefully, and then you take out this one so you let her fly out in the breeze. Unless you really feel like taking off this whole thing, which I'll demonstrate how to put on the opposite side now. Alright, let's get the coolant out of the way. To each their own, but I don't like to hang out with open containers of coolant. We'll get that capped off a little bit so the flies don't get to her. Now this side will be a little different. Let's go ahead and get our piece. This side is a lot more of a pain in the ass. Alright. So we've got this bottom screw here because there's our turn signal. So this is the part we had flapping in the breeze on the opposing. So we'll go ahead and take that out. Because again, I didn't want to lose my screws. You do it your way, I'll do it mine. Then we got these two inwards, which while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead of time so we're not bumblefucking around. There we go. I will say that stand does tolerate a lot of movement. I wouldn't test it, but that stand's pretty good. I like it. I haven't actually had to worry about this thing falling on me once. Alright, so we got these laid out, which I think these are the same, but we already did this once and it was a little screwy. Oh crap, did I pull out that on the other side? That's your fog light cable. I'm just going to tuck that off to the side for now. And you do have to be careful. They put this up tight on the plastic because they don't want it to burn up against this radiator, which is still pretty warm. So this here, where is it? Well, this is where your small screwdriver came in handy. But almost like you got a butterfly this thing. Careful not to hit too much. There's a clip. Oh, that's right, it went upwards. There's a little window in there. Get that as close as I can in frame. A little window in there. You put your screwdriver in, you pull down or towards yourself in this scenario, towards yourself, and that'll release it so you can come off. And this guy just clicks right in the top, right like so. That gets tight there. Oh, did I pull an oopsie? I think I pulled an oopsie. I pulled an oopsie. That should have gone on this side, not the outside. Oh. So now I need to hope I can reach that little screwdriver, and it doesn't look like I will. I'll try not to scratch the bike. Well, you want to make sure you have all your tools ahead of time, kids. Or better yet, don't screw it up. Alright, so that's your little screwdriver. So I will demonstrate now how this unclips. So let's... Actually, it'll be easier to take that off once I get this off. So I can hold this up Indian style on my knees. Stick your little screwdriver in there, and she slides right off. And it gives you a little bit more room to play with this one. And stick your little screwdriver under here, and she pulls right out. So let's do this again, but the right way. And actually, while we're talking about having tools ready and on hand, I got 2 zip ties. I should only need 1, I believe. Run this on the inside and outward and clip it on. Did that pretty quick, hope you saw it. And now, yeah, that feels like it was before. And that's outward and click. Now, I don't think you actually need to zip tie this anywhere. That's such a short run, that's probably fine. But I made the mistake of cutting it up here, and that's where we need our zip tie and our side cutters. So we run our black zip tie, and the original one was black, if anyone's wondering. Trying not to put too much tension on that wire, and God knows how where that effing thing goes. Get that in there nice and tight like it was. Go ahead and side cut it nice and close as you can get it. Try to get it level too, because you don't want the technician cussing at you. And then close your eyes so you don't get that in your eyes. Alright, so now that light situation is fixed, and this does come out because your fog light hangs right here. So I'm going to just pop that up there for a second. Reposition. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about that, girl. There we go. Put that there. Now the fun part of lining up the 20 clips that hold that on. Now, I'll point out what I can. You got this long dingus. It goes into yonder hole. And you've got 1, 2, 3 clips right here. They go 1, 2, 3 right here. And you need these to line up, and you need that to line up. So I think I noticed my mechanic was going for that hole first. Then we go for those 3 at the same time. And that looks like it's going to line up just right. One nice thing is they kind of give you a grab guard here, so you can hold this and make sure you got everything positioned the way you think it's supposed to be. And I gotta say, it looks like everything is positioned the way it ought to be. Snap. That wasn't a good sound. I think I heard something spring. One tap too much. A tap will do you. A slap will screw you, apparently. Oh, I see all three in there. I don't know what that was. Must just be the part of the deal. Yeah, it's definitely hanging on there good and proper. Man, without that anchor bolt in the back. That's all there is to that. And we continue on, I guess. Now we'll take our top. I like to work from the front. Finger that in. Go for the next one. That seems to be biting in. And the bottom girl. And she's going in. All right. Let's go ahead with the extender again. We'll finger them in a little further. Let's start up here with the wheel turned. Oh, that might be too big. Yeah, I don't want to scratch her. Well, what if I... No. That's your best bet. Maybe a shorter extension would be the way to go with this one. I can muster a little bit of finger strength here. This one we got all the room in the world, but... Now another thing that bothers me, tell me why they didn't extend this fender down past here so you don't have to worry about your radiators. I'm gonna get the guards, but come on, BMW. They're selling extenders now. You could have done it yourself. That's actually pretty tight already. Oh yeah, that's right. I tightened those already. So let's give these the quarter turn click. Click. I'm sure, because it's a BMW, that there is a torque spec for these. I'm sure of it. And that one wasn't quite as tight as I thought I had it. That's good and tight now. Not going nowhere. Ugh. And we put this guy all back in here. I like to finger these in because if you cross thread it, this is the frame. You're not coming back from stripping this thing out. And you know what? Let's give ourselves a little bit more room with an extension. Actually, before we start cranking down. I wanted the extension that stopped me from scratching something. I almost went right there to the engine and scratched that. Why don't we use two hands? It stopped right there, so now we'll do the torque down, which not much. Click. Wow, let's do the one hand torque, make sure it's right. Yeah, that's better. All right, that's pretty much all the scary stuff. Maybe that was supposed to go in that zip tie too. Huh. Because I don't like that. That was sitting right on the radiator. So this is why we had two zip ties ready to rock. Let's go ahead and clip that, and we'll go ahead and put her in there. So that way we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to hold these down because I don't want to have to figure this out in reverse. And we'll add you to that, making sure that you're not laying on the radiator. I'll give you a little bit, pull it slightly taut. And a finger in there holding it. Let's put this over my finger, out to the front. Oh, I'm so excited to go on a ride. But we gotta button up properly. I would like to do some review and vlog soon, but I need to figure out an external mic that sounds good on the motorcycle. Do you have any recommendations on an external mic on the motorcycle? So far it just seems like the Rode is the winner, the Rode mic. And it might be really difficult to see. Maybe with my finger there you can see there's nothing getting close to that radiator. I mean, it's all close to the radiator, but we're holding it away from the radiator. She's good and tight. Can't get one more. No, she's tight. Tight enough. And we'll go in there, get it nice and close and level. No sharp edge. Now I want to put on the belly pan. We'll hook that up there. She'll stay there. Where did I put the belly pan? Oh, I put it up there. All right. Oh. One in the center, and the one up front, and the one in the back. Again, 2 clips, 2 spots. Oh yeah, get that behind there first, and this time let's not burn ourselves on the exhaust. There's one. It's a soft click. Then there's 2. That was a hard click this time. Drop the extension. This is our center bolt for the top. Feels mushy. Alright, what's wrong here? Pull it out. Not cross-threading today. Gonna get that lined up nice and beautifully. Now it's nice and smooth. Alright. I can see I'm at almost the 1 hour mark, so I'm trying to hurry up because I don't think this GoPro battery will last much longer. There we go. I'm not even going to worry about tightening these up. Make sure that you don't leave them loose. I'm just going to hurry up here so we can get the assembled overall. And we still have a little bit to go. And you wonder what this wire is for. This is for the fog light for the touring package. Click. Click, click. Now we go back after it with that. Does need a little bit of pressure on it, so let's get that in there. Like so. That was a little tricky. Oop. Excuse me. All right. Well, I guess while I'm at it, might as well. Good. Bang my hand on the rear brake a few times. That should be good. All right, get all this stuff out of the way. And now we got to deal with our T50. So on the back here, there are 2 locking tabs for that, so don't go just ripping it out. I know one of mine bit the dust, and it is orientational. You can't put it in wrong. There we go. It locks in the back. I thought it locked up front. My bad. So that goes in that big old hole. Oh, helps if you have it lined up proper. Now if you do want to get the crash bars, you can't use the fog lights. If you want the grind pegs that stick out, or the saver pegs, you can't have the fog lights. So just a heads up. And that's not, oh, I have it in your hand, derp. And let's get that. Give us a little extra room to swing around. Oh, helps if you're going the right way. Ah. Alright, we'll worry about readjusting those later. Let's go around to the other side. I get that clicked in there, and again, it only goes in one way. Wonderful. And both sides also have an orientation peg. This one's got a big one, the other side has got a little skinny one about the size of that bolt. I don't know why, but it's a thing. Why are they two different sizes? Don't ask me. I'm not an engineer. This one definitely needs to be readjusted now. That's the culprit right there. This one pushed right into there, and that's why we had the pinhole. I did since take a file to this, but if I drop it on this side again, then I'll be doing this all over again. I am considering just not. If it happens again, I guarantee I will not reuse these lights again, and they'll just be a lawn ornament or a shelf ornament. But you know, I got it out of my system, I dropped it. And these are big bolts. Alright, so we are back together. If you liked the video, part 1 or part 2, I hope you'll go back and give a like on that video. Hope you give a like on this video. Subscribe, because we'll be doing more. I don't believe in taking it to the dealership for anything more than I absolutely have to. At some point we will go over chain tensioning, but right now I think I'm still in spec. I'll have to check that before I go out for a ride. If this sensor ever goes bad, we'll do a video on that. The whole 9 yards, guys. So make sure you subscribe, because everything I do to this bike, I plan on taking a video of. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time in the shop.